Hey guys, it's Missy. This is RNY in Mile High, and I apologize. I still have like a little bit of the cough left, so if I clear my throat a lot or if I cough, I apologize. But this is my week 21 post-op update from gastric bypass. Oh my gosh, week 21. Can you believe that? So my surgery date, or my 5-month surgery date, is coming up in 6 days. So super excited. Today is January 22nd, 2018. I had surgery on August 28th, 2017. At the time I was 39 years old. I'm lying. At the time I was 38 years old. I am now 39 years old. I am 5'2". My highest recorded weight was 244.2. And I gotta tell you guys, I was probably heavier than that at one point. That's just the highest that is recorded. So, and it wasn't by much. It may have been 10 pounds or so that I was heavier than that. But I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, you know, that was after I had started to lose some on my own. So that was interesting. But anyway, 244.2 was my highest recorded weight. The day of surgery, I was 229.6. Last week I came to you at 177, and that was, I had like a 0.6 gain or something like that. Nothing big deal, just, you know, just a little bit. Today I weighed in at 175.6. So that is a loss of 1.4 pounds last week, which is good. The weird thing is I felt like it was a whole lot more just because things are getting a whole lot more loose. I saw somebody I hadn't seen for a couple of weeks, and she was like, gosh, even 2 weeks ago you've made some huge changes. You know, you look a whole lot different. And part of it was my hair, I'm sure. But anyway, they did, wow, see, remember I was talking about brain farts last week? That's the one thing that I'm starting to notice, that I'm getting some brain fog type stuff, which could very well be my thyroid. I think I've told you guys before that I have 2 conditions that affect my thyroid, and they're not being monitored right now. So I've got to get somebody. I have an appointment in February with an endocrinologist again, which will be nice. So, but I think a lot of it is just sleep deprivation. I have a statistics class this session and a business management class this session. So I go to a school that does 8-week sessions. So it's intensive, high energy, fast-paced learning on the internet. But it's still, you know, you have things due every week. You have to get everything done in time. And yesterday I had an incident of dumping to where I needed to lay down, but I had an assignment due as well. So I struggled, but I got the assignment turned in with 10 minutes to spare. So that was good. So that was a 1.4 pound loss last week, or this past week. The total loss since my highest recorded weight is 68.6 pounds. So close to 70. Somebody help me. I need to hit 70. I don't need to, but I want to. I'm excited. And then since surgery, it's 54 pounds. So that is awesome. Like I said last week, I could not be happier with the numbers themselves. The things that make me most happy, though, are the non-scale victories and stuff, like clothes fitting and walking up the stairs and just that kind of thing. So that's been really nice. So this week, I wanted to talk to you about, I think we talked a little bit last week or maybe the week before about dumping and what it means for me. So for me, when I have dumping syndrome, it's not necessarily going to the bathroom, but I do get the heart palpitations and the shaking, and sometimes I get hot and all of that stuff. I get very nauseous, and it's just not, it's not good. So the other day, I know better, you guys, I know better. But the other day, my son wanted Life cereal. Life is my favorite kind of cereal, or at least it was. So I thought, well, I'm just going to have a little tiny bit of it. We had like 2 or 3 hours before supper. So I knew I had a little bit of time and I could eat a little bit of something. And I thought, well, I'll just try. And we have these little glass bowls that are like this big and like maybe that deep. So I filled one of those maybe halfway, between halfway and 3/4 full. I did that. I put in Fairlife milk with it because I thought, well, at least I'll get some protein from my Fairlife milk. And I thought, surely that little bit won't affect me. I was wrong. I was very wrong. I was so wrong. I can't even tell you. I was so wrong. My husband left, so I was cooking dinner. And it was a meal we had planned earlier in the week, but we forgot something to go with it. I can't remember if it was the salad or I don't remember exactly what we forgot to go with it. So I sent my husband out. I said, well, it's going to take a while. Oh, you know what it was? That's what it was. I had made a roast and he picked up carrots on the way home from work. So when I do my roast, I do it in the crock pot, and then about an hour before I put in the potatoes and the carrots so they don't get mushy, but they get soft. And he picked up the carrots, and he was home a whole lot earlier than I was. So I said, dump the carrots in there, and then chop up potato and put it in there also. He chopped up the entire 5-pound bag of potatoes. The whole bag. So the roast was probably like this big. We didn't need 5 pounds worth of potatoes in there. So I said to him, okay, take some of those potatoes out, because it was right before he'd put all of them in. And he was like, they're not all going to fit. And he called me and was like, the potatoes won't fit. And I was like, how many did you do? And he was like, well, the whole bag. And I was like, what? I meant like 3 potatoes at the most. So poor guy, he's really good at following directions, but you have to give him precise directions. So God love him. But like one time we were having a gigantic barbecue and people were coming over, and I sent him to the store we were doing hamburgers and hot dogs, and we had all that stuff, but we didn't have lettuce, tomato, onion. So I sent him to the store to get lettuce, tomato, onion. I thought he would bring back, 2 or 3 tomatoes, a couple onions. I sent him to the store for a lettuce, tomato, onion. He brought 1 tomato and 1 onion. So he's very literal. So I have to be careful when I give him directions. Like I said, he's phenomenal and fabulous about following directions that I give him, but they have to be precise. So anyway, he cut the whole 5-pound bag of potatoes. So I said, you know what, take more than half of them out, take 3/4 of them out, and we'll make mashed potatoes with them to go on this. We call it hamburger pie. It's kind of a variation of shepherd's pie, but it's not exactly shepherd's pie. So I said, you get that, or you do that. So he said, okay. So he mashed the potatoes, and then when I got home, I was missing 2 ingredients for the hamburger pie. So the hamburger pie was going to be for the following night. So I said, well, why don't I send you out now, because we've got a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow, and it's going to be another hour to an hour and a half before this roast is ready, now that we just finally got the potatoes and carrots in. And he said, okay, cool. So in that time is when I ate that little glass bowl of Life cereal. And we're talking not generic, but regular Life cereal. It wasn't cinnamon. I didn't put sugar on it. I didn't do any of that stuff. It was literally just Life cereal. By the time my husband got home, he was gone maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. By the time he got home, I was laying down in the bed, moaning in pain because I hurt so bad. My stomach hurt. I had really bad heart palpitations. I was sweating. It was a really bad case of dumping. I thought for sure I was going to throw up. The only reason I didn't was I passed out. So by the time my husband got home from going to the store, I was in bed asleep, and he was ready for supper. So it was a bad case of dumping, and I fell asleep about 7:25, and I woke up at 10:45. So that was Thursday night last week, now that I think about it, because I had to work the next day, and I stayed up, because once I was awake at 10:45, I was awake for a while. So I stayed up. I ate protein only after that point, because I was actually hungry. I ate a little bit of protein, and then I went to bed. Not super early too. I went to bed at like 3:30 or 4 and got up and went to work. So it was not a good thing. And I know better, you guys, I know better, but you know, you just want to try some of those things. You think, well, I'll just try it and see how it works. So the good news is the tool works for me. I do not want Life cereal ever again. Maybe not ever again, but for a very long time, I do not want Life cereal. I told you about the same incident or similar incident from trying one Oreo. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm not trying to sabotage myself. I've been trying to think, you know, mentally, maybe psychologically, why I'm doing that. And I don't know what it is other than I just want to try it. So it didn't feel good. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, the couple bites that I had tasted okay, but it wasn't worth the pain and the suffering and all of that. So anyway, that's that. Well then, last night, I don't know what I ate last night that caused me to dump, but I had an even worse reaction. It may have been exacerbated by the fact that when I got to feeling bad, I laid down under my heating blanket because I was really cold. And then all of a sudden, I was shaking so bad, I couldn't even hold a drink. Couldn't even hold this cup. Like, I was shaking so badly. And all of the other symptoms, you know, the stomach hurting, the the heart palpitations. I'm pretty sure I had a fever at that point because I started to shake so bad and I was so hot. And I think it was the heating blanket. I wasn't paying attention to when I started to get hot. And so it went from one extreme to the other pretty quickly. So, and I don't know what it was last night other than, I mean, it could have been that I just ate too much in general. I'm usually really good about it, but I was doing homework and eating at the same time. And so when I'm distracted, I'm not as careful. So I'm learning about that, not to be as distracted. So those are some of the struggles that I had this week. And they're not huge, and I'm glad to know that I dump when I have things like cereal. I know better. I know better. But I don't know what it was. I just really wanted to try it. So I'm kind of kicking myself now because it really wasn't worth it. But I don't know. So today for lunch I had a really good salad, and it had some protein in it, some meat and stuff in it. And then I had just the side of an apple. So when I send my son to school with an apple, if they're big enough, I'll cut all of the sides and cut them up into little almost like cubes. And then if it doesn't all fit in his container, then I'll take what's left. So it was like a quarter of an apple. So that was good for lunch. I was very satisfied. I did not dump. I didn't have any of those issues. So that was really nice. So I just need to stick to eating what I know I can eat, and what feels good and what sounds good is not necessarily the same. And the weird thing is like I said, it didn't even taste, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't how it used to be, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Let's see. NSVs this week. I have notes on an envelope because my notebook's right here. I don't know why I wrote them on the envelope, but I did. Oh, I wore, for the first time in over a year, I wore clothes that were not LuLaRoe yesterday. So I don't know if many of you know, but some of you don't. I am a retailer for LuLaRoe. I've taken a break right now, but I plan to relaunch again in February or March. So I love LuLaRoe clothing, do not get me wrong, but all of the LuLaRoe that I own right now is way too big. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but this top is way too big. So that's a problem. Well, the other day, I hang all of my LuLaRoe, and we didn't get it in the laundry in enough time for me to hang it and be able to wear it to church. I had run out of clothes to wear that matched. And so I needed to find something to wear for church. So I went into the part of my closet that is stuff that I was wearing before I got too big for it. And a bunch of it fit. A bunch of it was already too big, but a bunch of it fit. So I wore, for the first time yesterday to church, clothes that weren't LuLaRoe and clothes that fit. And the compliments that I got at church on how much weight I've lost were incredible. It was exponential how many times people said that I looked so good. And I even got the question of when I was going to stop losing weight, which I'm not there yet. But I guess people ask that question, you know, whatever time. And one of the ladies in my church asked me what diet I was doing. And I was like, oh, I had gastric bypass. You know, did you not know? Because I just think everybody knows. I'm not shy about it or quiet about it or anything. And she said, no, I had no idea. No one told me. She said, well, you look great and you're doing a great job. And so she was very complimentary. And it was really cool. Because a lot of times when people ask me that and I say, oh, I had gastric bypass, they give me that, you know, oh, thing. We're like, oh, you cheated. You know, that whole attitude. And so it was nice. It was a very nice interaction. She was very curious about all of it in terms of how I was doing, if I ever had any complications. And I told her right at the beginning of my surgery I had a little complication, but other than that, it was good. And I was doing really well, and that I really appreciated being given that opportunity to have a tool like that in order to lose weight. So she was very complimentary, and it was a very good conversation. So, and the other non-scale victory I had last week is I met my step goal every day last week, which is good. I usually hit my steps maybe 4 times a week, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 3 if I'm just having a week where I haven't gotten a lot done. But I hit it every day last week, so that was super exciting for me. So it's just walking, but you know, I've told you before that I do some yoga and I do some walking and I do some just stuff like that, easy stuff that's not too strenuous on my body. So I've been doing that kind of stuff. I'm excited to start doing more strenuous stuff soon. But I just have to make sure. I had a couple of injuries right before surgery that I need to make sure are totally healed and cleared up, and that I'm cleared from my physical therapist to do exercise that I want to do. So that's it, you guys. Sorry this one's kind of long too. I don't know what the deal is. This evening when I get home, I'm going to do my body shot finally. I probably won't post it until I post my 5-month update, which is in just a few days. 6 days, I think I said. So I can't believe it's already been 5 months. And it's weird. Every time I think the weight loss is slowing down or stalling or, oh, no, I'm not going to lose any more, then I lose a bunch more again. So I'm waiting to see if that happens this week. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to go take a nap because I'm tired and it's my lunch break and that's what I do. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey you guys, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner really quick, but I just wanted to show you what my Tespo vitamin machine thing looks like. It looks like this. Right now you can see it's blinking because I need to put water in it. This is the reservoir where you put the water. So I'm just gonna pour this in here. I usually refill the water every few days. It just kind of depends. Sometimes I forget to take my vitamins. So it comes with these pods. You can see there's one in here, and back here there's storage for additional ones. So I have a couple. There's a hair, skin, and nails that I have. This is the Women's Complete multivitamin. And then what's in here right now, right in here, is the bariatric vitamins. So they look like this. The machine senses how many servings are left by the number of punctures in the thing. So put these back in here. And then it comes with this little cup. It has a magnet on the bottom. Goes like this. You insert your pod. See right here, this tells me how many servings are in this one. And then you push this green button. And it says formulating. And So it puts the powder from here and the water in here, and then this mixes for a little bit. It doesn't take very long. Then it's done. Grab it out of here. And then it'll tell you it has 4 servings left, or 3, or whatever it is that it has on there. And it's just this little liquid. This one is an orangey, citrusy kind. And they're not super sweet. They kind of taste like Flintstone vitamins without the sweet. And they absorb much better because they are a liquid and all of that. So that just sits, you can see all of my spare pods back here. So that just sits back here in this little nook with my coffee maker and random things in there. And that is my Tespo. And I really like it. As far as my levels, I don't know how well they're doing because my surgeon's office doesn't check until 6 months. So they kind of give you a really good chance to get going and see how you're doing, and then they will check my levels then. So I will let you guys know as soon as I know.